You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. I'm just filled with sudden existential dread as I realize that next week is March break for my kids.
Oh, shit,
school.
already. Eh?
I know, right? First of all, how dare, I just feel like time is passing and I'm not in control of it all to realize that March break is this close to the horizon. Mm-hmm. But then it's also, and again, I'm going to say this real quick because you like to trap me in my words. I love my kids, and I love spending time with them.
But,
fuck, we got to spend a whole week together next week.
You didn't plan anything?
I forgot. Again, it snuck up on me. I told myself after last year, because I felt bad because we didn't really go anywhere. We can't take time off during March break. So I was like, I'm going to get them in day camps or classes or something. No, I totally forgot.
Is it just me, though? Or I feel like kids would rather just stay home nowadays than actually go and do something, it seems like.
Well, I think it depends on what it is, right? Because, if you have something, really cool that appeals to their interests, I think you can get them fired up. But
if they can just sit on their iPads and play video games, I feel like more kids would rather do that nowadays.
I've already heard Marcus on, voice calls with his friends when he's playing Roblox on his tablet being like, I can't wait till next week when we can play every day. And I'm like, yeah, that's honestly, I'd be probably pretty pumped about that too if I was an 8-year-old.
I live by a park. I never see kids. Summer, winter, it doesn't matter. I barely see kids there anymore.
Yeah, we had to have the talk with my kids of hey, I'm going to start looking at how many hours you're spending on your iPads. You might want to go outside every now and then.
The only thing I like is the forest by my house. I still see kids smoking weed there, so it's still good to see that some kids are getting outside.
Some things never change.
Some kids are getting fresh air.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I was reading about the trapped astronauts.
Oh, yeah. Are they
station.
still stuck up in space?
They're still stuck up there, but apparently they could be home as soon as next week.
Allegedly.
Super allegedly.
For anyone who doesn't know, there's been these astronauts that have been stuck up in the International Space Center for almost a year now?
They left Earth June of 2024 for an 8-day mission.
That's what it was, yeah.
And now here we are in March. They're saying that the earliest date they could come back is March 12th. And that, lines up with weather conditions and atmospheric
Do you think they get overtime pay for that?
Oh, I assume they're well compensated for sure. But I was thinking about it. A lot of people have been talking about how awful it would be, how bad this must be for them. But every interview that I keep seeing with them, obviously they're doing more interviews now because they're getting closer to coming back. They seem very happy.
Well, yeah, probably like we just said, they're probably getting paid more to not be negative about it, right?
Well, and I was thinking, I was like, if you or I got stuck in a space station for, oh my God, what is that, 8-9 months, it would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
But this is kind of their thing. Right? They've been up there, they've been doing experiments, they've been doing spacewalks.
Hear me out.
Okay.
They're still stuck at work. That's the thing. If you got permanently I don't care. I love this job.
Sure.
But if I just couldn't go home for 9 months and I was stuck in the studio.
Dude, a 9-month show?
Oh, my God.
Oh, well, no, because all we'd have to do is swear once on the radio and someone kick that door in, pull us out of here.
One of my biggest nightmares growing up living in the apartment with my dad was getting stuck in the elevator. This is like being stuck in the permanent elevator. Home is right there.
It's so close.
It's right. You can see it.
It's like if the elevator had a window to the floor of your building.
Yeah.
You could see oh no, I've always been terrified of elevators. I've never gotten stuck in an elevator, but every time any elevator I've ever been on does that lurch move,
terrifying.
I'm just like, this is it. And it's because of Mission Impossible. The first Mission Impossible movie, someone gets crushed by an elevator, and then the elevator falls and I'm fairly certain kills somebody else. And it has ruined me for 40 years.
I don't even like being stuck in traffic, let alone being stuck on the International Space Station.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What is the worst place to get stuck? We got friend of the show, Ian, on the phone. What's your story, man?
Oh, it was a hot day in July at the stone quarry down south there in Wyden. And one of the co-workers pulled the forklift up underneath the porta potty and lifted it up 5 feet in the air.
Oh, my God.
While you're in it?
For a little while. Yeah, well, we were while I was in it.
Oh, okay. I don't know if this is going to make this a better or worse story, but can I ask if it was number 1 or number 2?
Well, I was peeing, but there was all kinds of nasty stuff in that porta potty.
Oh my God.
Doesn't somehow peeing make it feel worse because now you're like being wobbled around?
Well, I got done pretty quick when I felt it move.
Your whole body just contracts.
Yeah.
Buddy, you should have got injured. That would have been the greatest WSIB claim of all time.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Well, it sounds like you guys have fun at work.
Well, we did. Yeah, it was pretty good for him anyway.
Hey, well, thanks for sharing your crappy situation for us.
Yeah, no problem. You guys take care.
The amount of stories that we are getting in here at 762-555. I mean, we're getting people that have said, like, oh, I got stuck in an elevator, whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
Getting stuck at the MTO, all that kind of stuff. Someone said they got their toe stuck in the faucet in the bathtub once.
I can't fathom. Maybe I'm not a big bath guy myself, so I can't really wrap my head around
I've
that.
seen videos online of people getting stuck in the bathtub, which that's just got to be brutal. Like being naked and having the fire department come in and have to
Just leave me. This is how I go. I don't want you to find me until I'm dead. I couldn't handle the
You're all
embarrassment.
shriveled up in there. Just, oh, man.
Just full raisin.
Now, there is another text that we got in here at 762-555 that says getting your piercing caught to your partner in an intimate moment.
Oh, God. One of you's got a stud, one of you's got a hoop, and they just kind of lock up sort of thing?
Connected in a whole new way.
Babe, I've never felt closer to you than in this moment.
Oh, nothing worse than a one-night stand that lasts way too long. You know what I mean?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You missed it yesterday. Justin Trudeau gave his speech on all the tariff talk.
We're going to choose to not go on vacation in Florida or Old Orchard Beach or wherever. We're going to choose to try to buy Canadian products and forego bourbon and other classic American products. And yeah, we're probably going to keep booing the American anthem.
You know what? Can't lie. Well said.
Honestly, it's well spoken. It's what the country needs right now in terms of leadership. Someone to step up and say we're not going to get pushed around. I think if you go back even 4 years and say the Prime Minister was going to encourage people to boo the American anthem, no one would believe you.
People are on board with it, though, man.
Honestly, yeah, it's widespread. The country is experiencing this swell of patriotism mixed with a little bit of anti-American sentiment. I saw a story this morning, actually, on my way into work. It was about a coffee shop in BC, and this has started a trend across the country. Have you ever heard of an Americano before?
Yeah.
Apparently, we're not calling it that anymore.
You're calling it a Canadiana?
A Canadiano started with this like kicking horse coffee out in British Columbia.
I love that.
And independent coffee shops across the country are taking it on board because they're like, why are we waking up every morning and acknowledging these people down to the south who apparently want to take us over?
We should do more things like that. I mean, we should stop calling it Boston pizza.
Oh,
call it Winnipeg pizza. I don't know.
Winnipeg.
I don't know. It's something. Have you ever heard of pizza? People talk about pizza from Boston before?
You know what? Just as often as I've heard people talk about pizza from Winnipeg.
Exactly.
Get rid of Montana's. Just call it Alberta's.
Yeah.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
There's a cafe out in BC that has started referring to the Americano as the Canadiano.
Which my understanding is that's just espresso and water. So sounds like an awful drink to start with.
We started thinking anything that has been named after America or an American city should be renamed to make it more Canadian.
Right. I mean, why are we sitting here advertising these American cities, these American trends, America itself, when we could be rebranding?
No more American Express. It is Canadian Express.
Canadian Express. I love it.
Put the duct tape on the card.
If an American airline's going to fly across the border between our two countries, it becomes Maple Airways.
Yeah. I was
change
thinking
the logo.
They have the Coney Island hot dog. It could be the Prince Edward Island hot dog now.
Ooh, well, I was even thinking, hey, let's take all the New York fries out of all the malls across Canada, replace them with a Charlottetown fries.
Charlottetown fries?
Little PEI potato flavor.
Yeah. That works. That works perfectly, actually. What about Buffalo Wings? There's that place Head Smashed in Buffalo.
That would be good. Or, they just named it after a city named after an animal that doesn't even have wings. So let's make it a Canadian one. Big Beaver, Saskatchewan.
There you go.
Call them Big Beaver Wings.
Big Beaver Wings.
Hot and spicy Big Beaver Wings.
That works perfectly.
Take the Boston cream donut. No. Ottawa's got a big cream dairy industry. We call it an Ottawa cream donut.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it the Toronto cream donut. They get creamed by Boston all the time anyway.
It does fit perfectly there.
It's kind of fitting.
American Pale Ale? No, not anymore. You go to the bar, you ask for a Nunavut Pale Ale.
I was thinking the California roll gets changed to the BC roll because I'm pretty sure that's already a pre-roll, but...
People love BC rolls.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Have you heard the theory that King Charles bodyguards have fake hands?
Sorry. King Charles bodyguards have fake hands.
Here, watch this video, and if anyone wants to see it, text King Charles to 762-555. I'll send it your way.
Okay, so there's Chuck.
It's some video of King Charles, I don't know, whatever, shaking babies' hands and stuff like that. And if you notice this guy in the background...
Oh, why does he get his hands like that?
Have you ever seen anyone hold their hands like that? Look at it. They do not move. They're just both together in front of him.
For those, I mean, obviously you can't see. So he's kind of got his like arms at his sides, bent to the elbows, and then he's just kind of touching his fingertips right across like his belly.
It's almost like arthritis hands, but he's just holding them there and they don't move. And then there's a bunch of videos of all these bodyguards that he has, and their hands never move. They always stay in the... They almost look fake, right?
Right. Yeah. So, like, normally you would expect, like, maybe his fingers would move a little bit.
Look, they don't move one bit.
Maybe they would come apart, like, tap his fingernails together.
Now... I did some digging online. King Charles bodyguards aren't the only one that do this. A lot of people have noticed this with some of Trump's Secret Service agents. If you actually go back to his first inauguration,
okay,
there's one guy that just walks around and he's got this weird hand that just doesn't move the entire time.
Okay.
And according to the internet, some people are saying that these security guards, Secret Service folks, they have these fake hands. So it looks like their hands are out in front of you when really they're gripping a weapon.
Oh, so it's like to put you at ease, because if you saw the Secret Service strapped up, ready to go at all times, people would be nervous.
They're ready to pull the piece at any moment.
People would be intimidated, but now you've got this fake hand that makes him look docile.
It makes sense.
Under the coat, he's packing.
Yeah. Right? Doesn't it make sense?
I mean, to some extent, I could see why. I do feel like having your hand not available, like what if someone goes to shake his hand? Wouldn't that ruin the illusion?
I don't think you're allowed to shake their hands. I think that's the whole thing. They're the Secret Service. They're there to protect, right?
Yeah.
I want to get one of these fake hands, honestly, just for like sneaking into the movie theaters with snacks or
what
something.
What are you going to do with it in the movie theater?
Just sneak it with snacks. How many times do they stop you? You got it stuffed in your sweater or whatever? Like,
I think the only thing that I can think of where it might be handy to have a fake hand is if you've got a significant other that's a big hand holder, and you are I like a little bit of space kind of person.
Bro, you want to text and drive. You put that fake hand on the steering wheel at 10 and 2. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you could.
You keep one real hand on the wheel, one fake hand on the wheel, one real hand on Candy Crush.
You want to sneak a Mickey into a concert. This is how you do it. What are they going to do? Take your fake hand?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Did you know a Christmas song saved Sum 41's life?
A Christmas song?
Yeah, there's an interview of Dave Brownsound going around. Listen to this.
We ended up pulling down a chance to do a song with Tenacious D, doing a Christmas song. Wow. So we were like, well, the press. Let's just stay in LA and like do this. Yeah, this is awesome. So we had a great time, like hanging out with Jack Black and Kyle Gass and doing this song. Wake up the next day, and it's my tour manager. He's like, turn on the TV. The world is on fire. And we're like, what? So we turn on the TV, and the World Trade Centers are burning. Oh, we were supposed to be on that flight out of Newark.
What? No.
I am dead serious. Dead serious. Like,
can you imagine? We wouldn't have Sum 41.
That's insane.
Now, the Christmas song that was Tenacious D and Sum 41.
Hey now, Santa, I'm writing to you, 'cause there's a lot of cool shit I want.
It's crazy to think that this song saved Sum 41's life.
I could not imagine when he chose to turn on that TV. And, I mean, obviously there's going to be the shock of 9/11 and everything that's happening. We all went through it. But to the realization of like, oh my God, that was the flight we were supposed to be on. feels like some Final Destination nonsense.
I hate Christmas music, I think, more than anyone.
Yeah.
I love that song just because it kept one of my favorite bands alive.
Well, dude, if I'm Sum 41 and you're asking me what's your favorite song, how is that not the answer?
That's got to be their favorite song, right?
Never mind all the songs that made you famous or any of the other stuff. This song kept you alive.
It's kind of one of those stories where it's like you don't think, but in the run of a day, there's so many little decisions you make that probably keep you alive, right?
Right. Although I will say, in terms of decisions made to stay alive, hanging out and partying with Tenacious D's got to probably be one of the easiest ones.
Sometimes you got to go with your gut instinct, you know? Like if you don't feel like going out tonight or this weekend or something,
right?
Sometimes it's not the worst thing.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We just got this phone call here.
When I was a teenager, my grandmother told me the story of when she immigrated to Canada. And her and her family had tickets for this bright, shiny new boat to come from England, but they missed the boat, and they had to get another passage. It was the Titanic.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
And I'm not crapping you. That's like she told me that story a couple of times. They got to the dock and they'd missed the boat.
It's crazy to think that if they didn't miss that boat, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's exactly the kind of the point. I thought about it at the time. I thought I wouldn't be here.
Hey, think about it. You go down hey, great for them. They didn't die on the Titanic, but yeah, that's the end of the family line too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You would have never got to enjoy that movie.
True. Too true.
It's like we were saying earlier. It's crazy. The small decisions you make change your life.
It's the butterfly effect, baby.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
A couple of years ago, we did talk about how scientists were trying to bring back the woolly mammoth.
That's right. They said they were real close. Honestly, I'd forgotten about it.
They predict that the first one will be born by 2028.
Okay.
They have been using elephants to modify them, but they also took some elements from an old kind of, what's it called?
Like fossil sample?
Fossil sample, and they've used it to create what they are calling the woolly mice right now.
The woolly mice?
Before the elephant, they started testing these samples on mice, which they have now created these mice that just have, if you look at this photo, just a crap ton of hair on them. They have no tusks or anything like that.
I look the same when I take my shirt off, to be honest.
They say they tested it out on the mice to see if they would grow the hair and if they can withstand the cold. And they're now doing tests to see how these mice survive in the cold. And they say that it's working out right now.
I mean, this is all from like the nerdy science perspective of my brain. This is all fascinating and super cool. But from the part of my brain that doesn't trust anybody, does this not feel like we're playing God? We're trying to bring back an extinct species, and now we've created a new kind of mouse?
The woolly memos, you could say.
The winter mouse?
Although, as someone who's bald and someone over here who started noticing a little widow's peak, I'm just saying, if they can make these mice hairy, think about what they can do for us, brother.
We don't need minoxidil. We don't need finasteride. We're all rocking woolly mammoth hairdos.
Bring back the mammoth. Fellas are going to be stoked.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What the hell did you just say?
What the is that song?
What did he say? All right. We've got $100 in Lotto 649 tickets for tonight's Super Draw.
That's right. $24 million gold ball jackpot, guaranteed $1 million prize if nobody wins that, and 25 guaranteed prizes of $10,000 all tonight.
All right, we've got 3 contestants on the line. We are going to meow a song to them. They need to tell us the song title and the band name, and if so, then they get that $100 in Lotto 649 tickets. If all 3 fail, we will reopen up the phone lines. And of course, we start with caller number 1. Hey, good morning. What's your name?
Hey, it's Darian.
Darian. All right, you understand how the game works, right?
Yeah.
All right, who do you want for the meow, Brock or Dalby?
I'll take Brock.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
I didn't do it, eh?
No, I don't know.
That was great meow.
I got it.
Take care, buddy.
I understood it.
All right, we go to caller number 2. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
It's Jen.
Jen, Brock or Dalby for the meow?
Can I get Brock today?
All right. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing.
There you go.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh my goodness. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know.
You don't got it? All right, take care. We move on to caller number 3. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Sean.
Sean, do you also want me or do you want Dolby to meow?
Dolby.
All right. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Kiss, Detroit Rock City.
No.
Hey, you're in like the vague ballpark. I don't know.
Era band.
You're wrong.
I don't know.
You're wrong.
No. I don't even think that's a good hint.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. Who's this? Chris, Brock or Dolby for the meow?
Yeah, it's good, Dolby.
All right. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you.
What do you think?
No, I'm not so sure, and I didn't hear the last couple of guesses, but originally I thought it was ZZ Top, Sharp Yes Man.
It's not ZZ Top. We move on here again. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Marty.
Brock or Dolby for the meow, or do you have an answer for us?
I got an answer.
What is it?
I'm thinking Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy.
Hey!
Meow, 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 meow. Congratulations, my man. You are correct to get the ding, the round of applause, and $100 in Lotto 649 tickets, all right?
Perfect, thanks.
If you do happen to win the big jackpot tonight, got some nickels and dimes for the fellas over here.
I got you guys covered.
The Brock and Dolby Podcast.
The Brock and Dolby Podcast.
Yesterday, the LCBO and liquor stores all across the country started pulling U.S. alcohol products off of the shelves. I saw tons of videos of LCBO employees in Ontario just going through, taking them down to the back.
Yeah. You see the people talking about, like, this is really going to hit hard at some of the, especially red states like Kentucky, who are known for their bourbons and things like that. Like, that's a big part of the economy of some of those states.
One thing I'm wondering, though, what are they doing with all that booze? Is it just hanging out at the back?
Yeah.
Is that all it's going to do? Are we, like, actually getting rid of it? Or...
I mean, that's a fair point. If it's coming off the shelves, it's got to go somewhere. Like, is there like a self-storage unit somewhere in town that's just full of American booze?
Just a vault? Yeah.
That would be amazing. Like Storage Wars, you lift the door and it's just...
Southern comfort everywhere. I'm honestly curious because if you think about it, they've already paid for the product itself.
That's kind of the thing that I've been wondering. Like, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is like the biggest proponent of, like, we're going to stick it to America and take all of their booze off of our store shelves. But, like, it's like when you hate a hockey player, but you already bought the jersey. Like, they already got your money. They don't care what you do with it now.
Does anybody work for the LCBO? 762-555. I'm curious, what's happening with all this booze right now? I mean, did they just let them take it all home? Did they have a big party yesterday? Were they boozing up? Like,
imagine you work at a liquor store. They're like, all right, we're taking the Yank booze off the shelves, so grab a bag and take whatever you can carry.
Was it like the cops when they find underage kids drinking and they pour it all down the sewers?
Oh, God. Just imagine they had just like a big bonfire, just throwing in bottles of bourbon one after the other.
Think of all the empties they have. They're sitting on a gold mine right now, dude.
They got to take those back.
The Brock and Dolby Podcast.
Well, according to some people that work to the LCBO, they're saying that the booze is technically on credit. So it's unpaid for right now until the sale of said booze.
Right. They ship it from distributors throughout the states, the California wines, the Kentucky bourbons and whatnot. And then once it is sold in stores, then we send money down
Similar
to
to all the vehicles that just sit on a lot at a dealership or something like that.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm wondering, though, are we going to just like mark up the prices right now on anything that you have at home? Like, are there going to be people on Facebook Marketplace selling bottles of Jack Daniels right now? Like, I know what I got type stuff.
I mean, I don't think right away, but I think if this holds out, if liquor stores should keep the American booze off the shelf for, God, give it a week, I think you'll start to see people who stocked up trying to basically bootleg.
I mean, I'm a proud Canadian, but it's like everybody likes their specific booze. If you're a Jim Beam guy, if you're a JD guy, whatever it is, like you're going to need your fixins eventually.
Well, and the funny thing is, because I saw some people text in that are like, doesn't matter what they're doing with it, they could just throw it in the garbage because we'll never buy American booze again. And it's like, listen, I am pumped that we are raw, support Canadian, buy Canadian right now. It's about time our country showed a little bit of that flair. But let's not pretend that when this is all said and done and Jim Beam's back on the shelves, that people aren't going to go, that's Old Faithful right there.
Facebook Marketplace is going to be like Prohibition in a few weeks.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Would you rather? Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
All right, let's go. We got a decent amount of would you rather questions here. First one says, would you rather have a house infested with rats or with bugs?
I feel like there's better traps for bugs than there are for rats. Like I feel like glue traps and stuff are more effective. Or you can do like sprays. You can plant flowers that sort of ward them away.
Yeah, but you could also maybe train the rats.
Oh, okay.
And then you could get your own little army or something. Like if you had to permanently live with one or the other.
Sure. I don't think I have the means to train the rats. But if someone could train them for me...
You become the king of the rats.
Who is that dog whisperer dude that used to be on TV? If there was a rat whisperer, well, that's Brad Marchand.
If you could somehow control the rats, and then you could control the street rats, dude, you take over the world.
I'm still working on trying to train the crows, but we'll try rats next.
What's another one here? Would you rather, you're in a gladiator ring, would you rather have to fight a lion or a rhinoceros?
Oh, I think lion... Don't get me wrong. I'm going to die either way.
Sure.
But, man, rhinos are basically wearing armor. Like, I don't think that I have a realistic chance of hurting either of them.
Yeah.
But if I do land a shot, I have a better chance of injuring a lion than a rhino.
I think the rhino kills you faster, so I take the rhino.
Oh, that's the other way from it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to run you over versus lions like to play with their food.
Right.
I think I just take the rhino.
If I get mauled by the lion, he might bat me around
Exactly.
a bit. I'm still alive. That's I was trying to think of how I could win.
There's no way you're going to win.
You're right.
Right? There's no
right.
physical way you're going to win. Just go with the quickest possible option.
How do I die faster?
Yeah. Would you rather have a permanent friendly ghost in your home or a scary one who visit once a month?
Permanent friendly ghost. Seemed like Casper was living the family that lived with Casper was living pretty well.
Yeah, but you ever have roommates, even roommates that you like, after a while, it gets pretty old.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, you just have, listen, man, why don't you go haunt the basement for a little bit? Just give me some me time. I feel like if they're a friendly ghost, they would be accommodating and would understand. Give you your space.
Versus a scary ghost is just kind of like when your in-laws come to visit. It's like, but you know they're going to leave at least.
I don't want to have to clean all the blood coming down from the wallpaper and stuff like that. It just feels like, even though they're only coming once in a while, the time in between visits would be spent repairing the damage they did. You just constantly be doing that.
Gives you a chance to do those renos you've been putting off, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea for me.
All right, what's another one here? Would you rather have oven mitts for arms or lamp posts for legs?
Ooh. I would say lamp posts for legs, because if you had oven mitts for arms, like, you couldn't reasonably grasp things.
I just feel like the lampposts, like, they'd probably break pretty easy or be stiff, right?
Well, eventually, I'm sure you could, like, modify them in some way to give you some sort of balance.
The oven mitts, I mean, just work in an industry where you have to handle hot things and you'd be like the best guy to have around, right?
Working like glass blowing or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, guys. I got this. Old mitt hands.
Just
Here
work
I
at
go.
a pizza place permanently.
Just you don't have the trowel at all. You're just grabbing pies right out of the oven.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah. All right. Final one here. Someone said, would you rather accidentally call your partner by your ex's name or have them do that to you?
I think
you'd rather have them do it to you.
See, if your significant other calls you by their ex's name, it'll hurt your feelings. If you call your significant other by their ex's name,
you messed up hard.
It'll hurt you physically. Like, I would get my ass kicked. So I think I would much rather Mallory call me an ex's name than I call her one for my own health and well-being.
Plus, realistically, we both know our partners settled for us. So.
100%. Absolutely. We're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Call me whatever you want.
Yeah. We're lucky.
Just don't leave.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. That is today's word. That's Luddite. Yep, Luddite. Luddite. Luddite.
Oh, he said something else.
And it's one who is opposed to technological change. Well, that's kind of me, actually. Well, besides my phone. Anyways, that just about does it. You guys have a great one. Cheers. You're up.
Luddite?
A Luddite. A Luddite is somebody who is opposed to or maybe even scared of future technology adopting. I've called you a Luddite on this show many times because of your fear of robots and AI.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Sarah Connor was a Luddite, if you think about it.
Sarah Connor wasn't a Luddite until the robots came to her house and tried to murder her in her bed.
Which is a valid reason to become a Luddite.
So this is what I'm saying. When the robots show up at your place, then you will have a reason to be a Luddite.
There's going to be a world where it's going to be the Luddites versus the rest of you who are controlled by the robots. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if the rest of us are controlled by the robots, good luck to you and your small band of uprisers.
If you're that guy at work that doesn't want to use the technology, you might be a Luddite.
You're definitely a Luddite.
If your work made you get like a smartphone or something, you're like, I can't figure this damn thing out. That'd be a Luddite.
Yeah. If they're putting new computer programs, bringing in new automation systems to try and smooth your job, make it easier, you might be a Luddite, but you might also just be trying to protect your job.
I mean, if AI has started coming into your work, join me in the Luddites. We meet on Thursdays at 4 o'clock.
There is no online posting about it, though.
Luddite. Use it wherever you can, and there's nothing wrong with being one, okay?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.